New tonight, the Houston County Sheriff's Office has launched what they call a no-refusal practice for DUIs. The goal, to make sure you get to your destination safely. Carly Barnett has more.
We are very proactive when it comes to DUI enforcement.
Houston County Deputy Matt Moulton says they want to make sure they keep roads safe. And one way to do that is cracking down on impaired drivers.
What we've seen is a lot of refusals when we ask people to submit to the state-administered chemical test.
Georgia law states if you are arrested for driving under the influence, you should take a blood, urine, or breath test to determine if your blood alcohol content is over the legal limit of 0.08. You can refuse, but your license will be suspended for at least 1 year.
It is harder to prove a refusal DUI. It's harder.
Houston County Solicitor General Amy Smith says without the concrete evidence, it's more difficult to prosecute those cases.
Juries can't see the same things that the officers who do it in and day out see.
So back in October, the Sheriff's Office put in place a no-refusal practice. If you refuse the chemical test and the arresting officer has probable cause to believe you're impaired, he can get a search warrant from a judge, and a blood technician will come to the Sheriff's Office and draw your blood. You do not have the option to say no.
Just like they would for a rape case, or a murder case, or a child molestation case, a DUI is a criminal case just like any other.
The obtaining of bodily fluids against your will is not unconstitutional. It just has to have sufficient probable cause.
Kelly Burke, a former district attorney, now represents some DUI defendants. He says this is another way of collecting evidence, just like the police can search your house with a warrant.
2006, the legislature changed the law to make it that it was still okay for a police officer to go ask for a search warrant if a person refused the implied consent test.
The Sheriff's Office pays for the services of the company that draws the blood, but Smith says it ultimately saves the county money in the long run.
Someone is far more likely to plea if you have that definite result. So while it might cost marginally more on the front end, it saves a lot more on the back end in terms of the cost to try a case.
Deputies want to show drivers their choices will have consequences.
To change their driving behavior and the thought process when it comes to getting behind the wheel if they've been drinking.
In Houston County, Carly Barnett, 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News.
Smith says this has led to more DUI convictions in the county. She says they are the only Central Georgia agency that follows this procedure, but not the only ones in the state. Gwinnett, Douglas, and Cherokee counties also have a no-refusal policy.